United Matters channel it is, and it's really the match day. Lineups are out, and I'm here to really take this chance to obviously address you all, the subscribers of this channel, and those that are going to hit subscribe to this channel. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to name a starting 11 to take on the side of Copenhagen down in Denmark, and looks like he has gone ahead to obviously almost name the same 11 that started as we took on the side of what's the name of the side? The side of Fulham at the Craven Cottage, and he is the starting 11 person that has gone ahead to get into this team. Now, he has gone ahead to name Onana, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Hojlund, Eriksson, Garnacho, Diego Dallo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Evans, McTominay. That is the starting 11 of Manchester United. And in my predicted starting 11, I never put McTominay, I never put Evans, I never put Diego Dallo, I never put Alejandro Garnacho. That is it. But the rest were in. So he has gone ahead to surprise us and obviously get us a squad that we least expected him to obviously bring on and obviously flaunt to take on the side of Copenhagen down in Denmark. Now, when you look at the substitutes, we are having Bendeyer, there is Hitton, Victor Lindelof, Sergio Reguilon, Rafael Varane, Amrabat, Fosun, Hannibal, Mount, Pelestri, Anthony, and Anthony Martial. That is the bench of Manchester United. Now, let's go to the team of Copenhagen and how they're obviously starting. It's Grabara, Dix, Vevro, Klexon, Diogo, Erignolsi, Leraga, Gillette, Ankson, Achouri, and Folk. On the bench, it's Sander, Dietmar, Sorensen, Tanglango, Larsson, Bakba, Oscarsson, Boylson, Land, Hojlund, the brother to Rasmus Hojlund, Ronny, and Frohlod. That is it. Coming in from the starting 11 of Copenhagen. And Erik ten Hag is obviously ready to take them on and obviously give them a beating that will take United to where we deserve to be as a club. Ten Hag comes into this game of football in Hose. It's really a must-win game for the club of Manchester United if we are to keep ourselves in the permutation to qualify for the round of 16. Remember, Erik ten Hag is into his first Champions League season at Man United, and this is how he has decided to take this on. Let's go to the system he has gone ahead to deploy to take on this side. Now, Ten Hag has gone ahead to name Onana, Andre in goal. Obviously, we all know that he's really one of those players that is really becoming good, better and better every time that passes by. Then Diego Dallo is yet another one to play into that position of the left back. Remember, even when you're playing against Fulham, he was played as the left back, and Sergio Reguilon again is on the bench. Then Harry Maguire and John Evans. That is it. That central defense played against Manchester City. They came in through to play against Newcastle, and they've gone ahead to play against Fulham. I'm a little bit suspect of that central defense because I don't really trust them. I really want to be real. I don't trust them at all. And I don't know why Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to choose these people over Rafael Varane, right? And Victor Lindelof. But all I want to let you know is that I'm not really one of those people that is really a favorite of people like Harry Maguire and John Evans in central defense, because we are at a side that is obviously going to cause a lot of havoc to us. And some experience from Rafael Varane would have gone ahead, obviously, do us better. But I don't know why Erik ten Hag is not playing Varane, because towards the game of Man City, like 30, 40 minutes to the start of the game of Man City, a statement was put out by Rob Dawson. We all know him very well. He's a United correspondent for the ESPN, confirmed to us that Erik ten Hag has what we call a fitness concern, or has concern over the fitness of Sergio Reguilon and Rafael Varane. Ever since then, they've never gone ahead to get a chance to obviously play for the club of Man United in such situation. So I don't know what exactly is happening, but we leave it to Erik ten Hag. And if at all we happen not to get a result, the manager will be really blamed. If at all happen to get a result, Erik ten Hag will be given his flowers. That is it. Then the double pivot has Eriksen and Scott McTominay. All right. He has gone back to the double pivot he started with before he brought in Casemiro in his debut season at Man United. And that's exactly what Ten Hag has gone ahead to go in for. And it obviously got him results when you're playing against, we are playing against which team? We are playing against Fulham. And the midfield was not obviously won, but our transition, the build-up from the back was really great because Eriksen is good at that every time. And we are also having Rashford being played onto the right attacking side of the midfield. And I think Erik ten Hag is going to hit to do this. Reason? He knows that Rashford will always cross that ball when he's obviously playing as a right attacking midfielder. That is it. And he knows that we went ahead to score a very good goal against Galatasaray when Rashford brought in those crosses to obviously into the vicinity of Hojlund, and Hojlund headed that ball into the back of the net. And if at all you know how good Rasmus Hojlund is good in the air, then you should obviously blame the people around him that play around him for not obviously putting him into play every time he's obviously playing for the club of Man United. That means we should be doing better and better to see to it that we really play on the abilities or the strength of this young man, that is Rasmus Hojlund. So I think Ten Hag is going to have to get it right, put Rashford that side, and I'm happy about one thing. Antony has been dropped. You know, I've always had concern about why Erik ten Hag has been ruthless to every player in the squad, and he's obviously very, 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 very keen. Sorry, very, very, very soft to Antony. Antony has gone ahead to kill off the pace of our game. He has gone ahead to cause lots of damages to this club of Man United as far as our playing style is obviously concerned. And Erik ten Hag has on several occasions gone ahead to obviously favor him at that team. But this time round, he's on the bench. And I would love to see to it that Antony plays the next 4-5 games off the bench, to see to it that Rashford or Facundo Pelestri coming through and obviously lead that right attacking side of the midfield. I'm really happy for that, because if players like Varane can be benched, right? If players like Varane can be benched, you get? If players like Casemiro can be taken off at halftime, Amrabat can be benched and be taken off at halftime. So Rashford can be benched, Garnacho can be benched. Why not obviously bench this man? Because he is not doing any good to the club of Manchester United, and we all have to admit it, that Antony is really one of those players that is really struggling, and we are having a very huge question on when he'll ever come good as a player for the club of Manchester United. So that is it for Rashford, and let's go on the left attacking side of the midfield, Alejandro Garnacho. To be sincere, I never saw Garnacho start ahead of Rashford onto the left attacking side of the midfield. But we also to it that when Garnacho started in the game of Newcastle and the game of Fulham, he went ahead to put in lots of efforts, and he makes things happen every time he's playing onto the left attacking side of the midfield. And it's great to see it that he's being given more playing time, starting games, because he has to get used to starting games, as Erik ten Hag told him when he was giving him a new contract, that you now have a chance to push to start and become a first choice player at the club of Man United. And that is exactly what the boy is obviously doing right now and is taking us to where we want him to be as a player of Manchester United. So let no one come here and obviously lie to you about what the world is all about. Garnacho has gone ahead to work his way out, and you're going to see him today because even in the game of Newcastle, he managed to put in close to 4 crosses into the 18 yards box of the opponent. And even today, he might obviously find himself in a position of putting in those number of crosses that might help the club of Man United go to what we call a winning stretch. And that's what we are obviously going to be wanting at the club of Man United. Hope you all agree with me about this, and I really understand that we are all okay with Alejandro Garnacho starting and playing onto that side. Then Rasmus Hojlund leading the line. Obviously, all I want to see is that for the very first time, I want us to be having 2 outlets, that are obviously going to feed Rasmus Hojlund from the wide areas. Then Bruno Fernandes being playing as a central attacking midfielder. All I call upon from him is his composure. The way he got himself composed as we are playing the side of Fulham and scored that beautiful goal. And I would like to see more of that composure in the middle of the park. If at all he can do that, left, right, and center, then we are going to easily win this game. When you're having a clinical center forward like Rasmus Hojlund, all you need is to see to it that you really feed him and get those balls for him into the right directions. But he has been played into what we call a graveyard shift. And the only game I really saw to it that at least tried to create something for Rasmus Hojlund was the game of Sheffield, where he got 3 chances, and one was saved by the goalkeeper, 2 were saved by the goalkeeper, and the other one was really missing. He missed tapping that ball into the back of the net. So that's why I think the plan to play Rashford off the right to obviously get in those crosses is going to work out well for the club of Man United. We need to see to it that Rashford crosses in. And my prayers are that I pray to it that this system really works for for Rashford playing on the right, attacking to the midfield, such that we can have Garnacho start. Garnacho is a force to reckon with at the club of Man United. And trust me, I've gone ahead to tell you and reiterate about this several times that this boy is going to be the man to talk about. He's going to be the star boy of Man United, and he's going to overtake Rashford. All what he needed was to get these games in, start, and obviously make things happen, because he has a better skill set than Marcus Rashford, and I think he is really where he deserves to be. And after the international break, Amad Diallo is also going to be back. So all I want to see is that every player having what we call competition. I believe Amad Diallo is the Garnacho on the right attacking side of the midfield, if at all you agree with me. That is it. I see him as a Garnacho onto the right attacking side of the midfield because he does exactly what Garnacho does. That is it. So all we want to see is Bissaka Aaron trying to obviously do the needful. Defensively is okay. And when he surges into the final third, I want to see him obviously put in those crosses. But Marcus Rashford needs to come back and help Marcus Rashford to help Aaron Wan-Bissaka to prevent him from being exposed into what we call a 2v1 situation. Though he's really good defensively, but we need to see to it that Rashford tracks back. One of the problems I've gone ahead to be having with Rashford, apart from his selfishness, when he reaches the final third of the pitch, it's all about him not doing the needful to obviously track back, And for Garnacho, he does that very well. And even Dalot does that very well. So all I want to see Dalot improve today is that whenever he gets that ball outside the 18 box area, let him not just go for a shot. I want him, when he reaches the final third, let him control the ball and maybe try to compose himself like he did when he scored the second goal against Sheffield. I think that's exactly what this man is supposed to be doing right about now. But I think we have weapons that can kill off this game as soon as possible. And I don't really see this team really being a problem to us. Why? Our bench is obviously very, very, very fertile. And I'm coming to obviously talk about the bench. Let's do this system format of Copenhagen. They're having Grabara in goal. Anksen right back, meaning that Garnacho is going to be facing Anksen. Valvro and Dix, they're going to face Rasmus Hojlund. Gillette is going to be facing Marcus Rashford. Folk, Legera, and Gonk Alves, they're going to be facing Scott McTominay, Eriksson, and what's the name of the other guy? Eriksson and Bruno Fernandes. Then Ignosi is going to be facing Diego Dallo. Achouri is going to be facing Arunan Bissaka, and Clarkson is obviously going to be facing the side of, or the central defensive pair of Harry Maguire and John Evans. And one thing I'm not going to talk about John Evans and Harry Maguire, I think when we get those set pieces, we should be looking and aiming to obviously target these players. That is it. Let's aim at really making those deliveries to those players, and the rest will be history. They're obviously coming through and get us the best that we deserve as a team of Manchester United. Now, let's talk about our bench. When you look at the bench of Man United, it's really rich, with players like, if you talk about the attacking side, we're having Hannibal, Facundo Pellistri, there is Anton Martial, Mason Mount, Amrabat, and Anthony. We're having close to 6 players that are really good when it comes to attacking. Even Omori Fosun has gone ahead to make it to the bench. So if you're having those players, all I really understand is that Ten Hag has a lot of buttons to press if at all things are not going our way. If he wants to play high line, he can obviously bring in Rafael Varane, right? And then he pushes up a little bit. You can get in Amrabat in the central defensive midfield, see to it that you have some good cover in the defense, because he's really fast and he can track back if at all a player is going to hate to beat the likes of Varane and Harry Maguire. I think Anthony is going to be a good player when he comes off the bench, because if he comes off the bench and concentrates, then he come out and say, all right, I need to do work to obviously keep myself in this team of Man United, because Ten Hag is not anywhere near going ahead to obviously have any mercy for this young man that is Anthony. So let me go a little bit into what you people are saying into the comment section. I'm having Edward Jerry, thank you for watching it through. Then Gordon Mohwezi is calling for a 2-1 win. I also have a 2-1 win as a prediction onto my side. I don't know what you others are really having to say about this beautiful game of football, but all I need is simple. We need to see to it that we get ourselves to where we deserve to be, and by so doing, we need to win this game of football. But Erik ten Hag is going to hate to have certain things to say about, let me see, about how he went ahead to obviously pick the likes of Scott McTominay, Eriksson, and very many others ahead of others. As far as today's fixture is really concerned, and I'm really working hard to bring it on your screen and really have a little bit of a say about it. You can as well go into the live chat and tell me what your predictions are about this beautiful game of football as Man United prepares to take on the side of Copenhagen. Copenhagen at home is really hard. I saw them really making it hard for teams like Bayern Munich to come in through and obviously put in a shift. But all I know is that we are here to stay, and we're obviously going to cause the trouble that they don't really expect. We are having Ten Hag said they can still do better in possession, but they fought as a team, and then you have to give trust. They know what to do, and they know how to deal with the atmosphere. Fulham, Burnley also have such atmospheres, and the players had some experiences last year in Barcelona. It's great to play in such atmospheres. So Ten Hag is trying to obviously put in his explanation as to why he has gone ahead to obviously choose almost the same 11 that played against Fulham. Ten Hag is vocal, and he has gone ahead to say that they fought as a team and they know what to do. So Ten Hag has gone ahead to do this because of what the players did as we took on the side of Fulham over the weekend. He says this team fought as a team, and he needs players that are really ready to come in through and obviously put in a shift and fight for the club of Man United. If at all you're not ready to fight for the club of Man United, Ten Hag is not willing to obviously put you in there for you. But it's really worrying that if at all the quality players aren't really putting their bodies on the line, then why did we have to obviously get them? Or else there might be some players that are not willing to offer what the manager wants. Now, the manager says he's going to go pragmatic because he needs to factor out results, because the central defense that he built onto that team has not gone ahead to obviously get back, and most of them are really injured. So that is Erik ten Hag for you. But for players like Amrabat, you don't blame them because he's playing in one of the most sensitive positions on the pitch, that is the midfield. And we all know that games of football are won and lost in the midfield. So he comes in late when the season is already in, like 3-4 games played by Man United, and you don't expect him to obviously fit in like a glove. You get? Because you need to be having that chemistry together. Even when Casemiro came in through towards the end of the summer transfer window, you saw to it that he was not a starter in games, and Ten Hag used the UEFA Europa League games to see that Casemiro really becomes good. Remember, in those games, Scott McTominay was starting ahead of Casemiro. So let me go into the live chat and end this and see what your votes are as the fans of Manchester United. 84% are calling in for United win, 9% are calling in for Copenhagen win, 6% are calling in for a draw. So let's wait and see how our team is going to perform. And lastly, comment. I'm having Kato Fred, Wairama Nicholas, 3-1. 3-1. That's the prediction I was going to hit over it put up. So wait and see how that pans out. So guys, thank you for watching through. We return after the game with what we call a match reaction. See you later. Bye-bye. And may the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. In 12 minutes, the game is starting off. Keep your eyes glued onto the screens. Then later, get back to this channel as we bring you the match reaction. I'm out. Bye-bye. See you.